I'm JasonRobinhood, and these are the stocks of the day for Thursday, January 27th, 2022. Okay, so it is currently 1:46 p.m. here in Las Vegas, Thursday, January 27th, 2022, and we're going to go over the stocks of the day. Unfortunately, it was another red day for all three major indexes today. The Dow Jones was down 7 points, currently trades at 34,160. The S&P 500 was down 23 points. It currently trades at 4,326 points. The NASDAQ 100 was down 189 points. It currently trades at 13,352. The VIX is at a 30 handle. That was down 3%, so that's a good sign. The 10-year currently trades at a 1.812. And Bitcoin, let's see what Bitcoin currently trades at. Bitcoin currently trades at 35,000. It was down a little more than half of a percent today, a little more than 0.67% for Bitcoin. So unfortunately, another red day in the stock market today, but in this series, we go over the best performance stocks from each index. We pick the 5 best performance stocks from each index. So this series, I would say it's helpful for long-term investors and for day traders. And if we could ever find any stocks outside of the major indexes, we highlight those too, but we could not find any stocks outside of the major indexes. So we're going to just go over 5 stocks from each index. We're going to start with the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones was down 7 points today, but we did find 5 winners. Dow Jones after hours numbers are going to be a little bit all over the place because we've had some stocks that reported earnings. I believe Visa reported earnings and Apple reported earnings. So we're going to keep an eye on those 2 stocks. The first stock for the best performance stocks in the Dow Jones today was Dow. Dow is a stock in the Dow Jones, and you can see the stock was up a little more than 5% today. It did not give any of that back in the after hours market. That's a very strong sign. This stock is up 8% in the past month, so this is one of the best performing stocks in the stock market this year. But for the past year, it's only up 10%, so it's averaging maybe 1% gain per month. And for the past 5 years, it's up 15%. You can see it IPO'd. This is a spinoff, so it kind of IPO'd in 2019. So it's kind of a new stock. You could see the high in the stock is about $70. So if you're looking at this stock and you are a long-term investor, you're probably looking at the next $10. And it pays almost a 5% dividend. Dow, very, very strong returns for Dow. Next stock is ticker symbol Visa. Let's see, Visa reporting earnings in the after-hours market, and you can see this stock jumped 6% in the after-hours market after reporting earnings. That's a really, really good sign. Let's see what it did for the past year. For the past year, Visa's only up 10%. So it's kind of trading just like Dow Chemical was trading, but for the past 5 years, Visa is a complete bull. It's up 166%, and it pays a little more than a 0.65% dividend. Next stock for best performance stocks in the Dow Jones is ticker symbol, you know what, Apple. I know Apple just reported, so let's check what Apple is. Apple's up 3%, so that's a good sign. Apple reported earnings in the after-hours market, so Apple did get a pop. People are buying the earnings report for Apple. That's a good sign. For the past year, Apple's up 14%, which is basically trading in line with the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is up about, 15% for the most part. So it's trading basically in line with the Dow Jones. But for the past 5 years, Apple is up almost 450%, 447% for the past 5 years. So in a sense, you could say, let's just average up. This stock is averaging a 100% return per year, right? Good return from Apple. As you can see, I'm a shareholder of Apple. I have 5 shares of Apple. Apple is almost 27% of my portfolio. huge returns from Apple, and it pays a 0.54% dividend. Apple, one of the best returning stocks in the Dow Jones. Next stock we're going to go over is ticker symbol CVX, Chevron. As you can see, Chevron was up a little more than 2% in the trading day, and it picked up some buyers in the after hours market, a little more than a quarter of a percent in the after hours market. That's always a good sign. They didn't sell off and people are still buying in the after hours market. As you can see, Chevron has been in a complete bull market on its own, completely outperforming the Dow Jones, maybe by like three times at this point. I think the Dow Jones is up only 14%. So you could say Chevron is 3 times the Dow Jones in the past year, complete bull. But it's only up 17% the past 5 years. That's interesting. That's not really the strongest. But you could see in the past year with a 55% gain, it's starting to completely take off. And it pays almost of a 4% dividend. So that's a really strong sign, right? Dow and Chevron, both are part of the energy sector. Energy sector is one of the best performing sectors in the stock market, even though we are in a bear market. And the last stock we're going to go over for the best performing stocks in the Dow Jones was ticker symbol MRK, Merck. Ticker symbol MRK is up a little more than 1.82% today. It did not give any of that back in the after hours market. That's a good sign. For the past year, this stock is barely up 0.90%. It's underperforming the Dow Jones and underperforming the entire market clearly. And for the past 5 years, it's not even averaging 10% a year. It's averaging way less than that, like 6% a year for the most part. Not terrible, a 6% return per year. That's not bad at all. Let's see if it pays a dividend. And it pays a 3% dividend, so it's averaging about 7-8% return per year, and it pays a dividend. These are interesting stocks. Those 3 stocks that we just saw with those hard, heavy dividends are what you would probably be looking for in a market like this, in a bear market where all stocks are going down. Dividend paying stocks are extremely important to have in your portfolio. But yeah, those were 5 of the best performance stocks in the Dow Jones today. As I mentioned, the Dow Jones was only down 7 points today, but the Dow Jones is currently trading at 34,160. Obviously, we want to keep an eye on that 160 points. If we lose those 160 points, the Dow Jones will be trading at 33,000. Not a good sign. Next stocks we're going to go over for the S&P 500. The S&P 500 was down 23 points today, but we did find 5 winners. First stock is ticker symbol NOW, now, Service Now. As you can see, this stock went parabolic. It went up 10% today. That's a very strong move on a day where the entire market was red. You have a 10% move for Service Now. But for the past year, this stock was actually down 10% yesterday. So that's not really a good sign. This stock is clearly underperforming the market. You could see the highs happened last November, around November 4th, and that was $700. So if you're looking to get into the stock, the next $200 are extremely important. If it could break above that $701 mark, you will be highly rewarded. But for the past 5 years, this stock has clearly averaged over 100%. That doesn't mean it gained 100. It literally gains 100% every year. It's just for the past 5 years, it's up over 530%. So an average of over 100% per year. That's a great move for long-term investors. But it does not pay a dividend. That's not bad for a stock that returned 530% for the past 5 years. But for the past year, it's not doing so well. It's only barely positive, so you have to keep an eye on it. Maybe it makes a move at the beginning of this year. You probably want to get in sooner than later because this looks like the lows. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the S&P 500 is ticker symbol BLLL, Ball. As you can see, ticker symbol BLLL BLLL was up a little more than 8.57% today, and that's a good sign. It did not sell any of that back in the after hours market. It's only up 7% for the past year, so it's underperforming the S&P 500. I believe the S&P 500 was up maybe about 20% last year, so it's underperforming the S&P 500. But for the past 5 years, if you were a long-term investor in this stock has returned 150%. It seems like there's a top around here somewhere, 97, 93, 97. So the next $3-4 you want to keep an eye on it. If it could break above that 97, 98, 99 mark, this stock is, the sky's the limit. But if it can't, you would probably have to worry about the stock falling back down to about 79. Keep an eye on that. Does it pay a dividend? And it pays a 0.81% dividend. Ticker symbol BLL. One of the best performing stocks in the S&P 500 today. Next stock for the best performing stocks in the S&P 500 is ticker symbol PKG. Packaging Corporation of America. Wow, what? This is a real stock? This stock was up a little more than 7.56% today. It did not give any of that back in the after hours market. That's a good sign. It's only up 3% the past year. So yesterday, this stock was actually negative. That's not a good sign. It's underperforming the market. It's only up 66% the past 5 years. You can see the high happened around May last year, May 14th. That number was 154. So you want to keep an eye on that 154 number. Let me see. Yeah, 152 in September. 154, 152 is a good number. The next $10 in this stock, you want to keep an eye on it. And it pays almost a 3% dividend. That's a really, really good sign for a stock that has returned 66% in the past 5 years. Ticker symbol PKG. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the NASDAQ 100 is ticker symbol MKC. McCormick. McCormick was up a little more than 6.81% today during the trading day. It did not give any of that back in the after hours market. It's only up 2%. You can see it had a bottom way back here in October. It's basically been an extreme bull run since October 21st, right? The last 3 months, this stock is up 22%. And for the past month, it's up 5%. Past year, only up 2%. But for the past 5 years, this stock is up 110%, a very strong sign for long-term investors. And it pays a 1.51% dividend. McCormick, ticker symbol MKC. And the last stocks we're going to go over for the best performance stocks in the S&P 500 is ticker symbol NEU. Nucor. As you can see, Nucor was up a little more than 3.9% today. Gained a little bit in the after hours market. That's a good sign. And it did not give any of that back in the in the after hours market. In the past year, this stock is almost up 90%, 87.05% in the past year. This is an extreme bull. I think this is the best chart we've seen all day, at least for the past year. And for the past 5 years, only up 58%. You can see it had a problem back there in March 2020, but it has not stopped running basically since that day. The top in this stock happened last year, if you're looking for it, was about 127. So you still got $30 in this stock for the highs that you want to keep an eye on, that 127, 126 number if you are looking to invest in Nucor. It also pays a 1.84% dividend. Very strong sign for a stock up 86% in the past year. So yeah, those were 5 of the best performance stocks in the S&P 500. As I mentioned, the S&P 500 was down 23 points today, and that currently trades at 4,326. Obviously, we want to keep a number on those 26 points. If we lose that, we could be trading at a 4,200 handle. So that would be interesting. We probably want to trade more at a 4,400 handle. And for the last 5 stocks we're going to go over are for the NASDAQ 100. As I mentioned, the NASDAQ 100 was down 189 points today, but we did find 5 winners. First stock is ticker symbol NFLX. Netflix. Netflix was up a little more than 7% today. Netflix released earnings a few weeks ago. Earnings was not so good. So the stock sold off a bunch, and Bill Ackman just initiated a position in this stock, and this stock has now taken off in the past few weeks. A lot of people are now buying the stock, following his advice. Maybe not following his advice, but the stock has sold off a lot. As you can see, it sold off 37%, and before the 7% today was up. It was almost off like 45%. But for the past year, Netflix is still down. How much it was up? It was up 8% today, and Netflix is still down almost 30%, 29.78% in the past year. Not a good sign. It has underperformed the market by like 40%, right? The S&P 500 was up 20%. So this stock is underperforming the stock market by like 50%, unfortunately. But for the past 5 years, Netflix is still in a bull market. It's up 178%. You can see the highs was basically around last year, October, was 690. I don't know. Wow, 690. It's currently trading at 386. So there's a lot of room to run in this stock if you are a long-term investor in Netflix. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the NASDAQ 100 is ticker symbol SIRI, Siri. Okay. Siri was up a little more than 2.5%. That's a good sign, and you can see it gained some in the after hours market, almost a half of a percent today, so clearly above 3% at the moment. 3% gain total for Siri today, but it's still down 9% for the past year. That's not really a good sign. It was down 12% for the past year yesterday, and for the past 5 years, it's only giving you a 33% return. The highs was basically in 2018. That was a very, very, very long time ago, to say the least. And the highs was basically at a $7.58 handle. It seems like $6.16 isn't a lot when it comes to getting up to $7.58. But in the stock market, probably it's going to be never again, right? Let's think about it. I don't know if this stock, but it does pay a 1% dividend. That's interesting. This stock is only $6 and it still pays a 1% dividend. Maybe they should cut the dividend and stop paying the dividend. But I mean, it's still up 33% for the past 5 years, so it's not a bad stock. It's kind of trading. It's trading like a blue chip value stock, right? But you would think this would be a growth stock, so I'm surprised they even pay a dividend. Next stock we're going to go over is ticker symbol EXL, Excel Energy. Excel Energy was up a little more than 1.95% today. For the past year, this stock is only up 5%, barely 1% per month. But for the past 5 years, this stock is up 67%. So that is averaging a little more than 10% per year. That's not a bad return. Let me see. Does it pay a dividend? It pays a 2.71% dividend. Ticker symbol EXL, Excel Energy. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the NASDAQ 100 is ticker symbol INTU, Intuit. Intuit was up a little more than 1.92% today. Did not give any of that back in the after hours market. That's a good sign. For the past year, this stock is up 40%, clearly outperforming the NASDAQ 100. I believe the NASDAQ 100 was up maybe 12% last year. Not really the strongest move for the NASDAQ 100. But the highs in this stock came in November 29, 2021, basically a few months ago, right? Like what is that, 2 months ago? Seems like forever, but it's basically 2 months ago. $694 a share was that price, but this stock is now trading all the way down to $517. But for the past 5 years, if you were a long-term investor and held these stock, the shares have returned over 341% into it. Does it pay? It pays almost a half of a percent dividend, a 0.48% dividend. And the last stock we are going to go over today for the best performance stocks in the NASDAQ 100 is ticker symbol PANW, Palo Alto Networks. Palo Alto Networks was up a little more than 1.89% today. It is up almost 40%, 39.03% for the past year, clearly outperforming the market, basically doubling, almost tripling the returns of the NASDAQ 100. And for the past 5 years, this stock has been in a complete bull market. If you were a long-term investor in this stock is up 241.42% in the past 5 years. You can see the highs came basically a month ago, December 27th, 2021. That price was $568, and this stock currently trades at $485. The next $70, $80, $90 are very important in this stock if you are a long-term investor. Does it pay a dividend? It does not pay a dividend, unfortunately. So yeah, those were the 5 best performance stocks in the NASDAQ 100 today. Unfortunately, the NASDAQ 100 today was down 189 points, currently trading at 13,352. Obviously, we want to keep an eye on that 352 number. Hopefully, we do not lose those 352 points, because if we do, we will be trading at a 12,000 handle on the NASDAQ. And the next question would be, can we go down to 10,000? And if we go down to 10, are we going to go down to like 9,000? So it's going to be interesting. I believe the NASDAQ has lost like 5 weeks in a row. So we are in a bear market. You want to keep an eye on the stock market and the stocks you're buying each and every day have dividends paying you while some of these stocks are going down. And keep an eye on the stock market every day. As you can see, you can find winners in the stock market each and every day. I'm Jason Robinhood. Did you discover any new stocks in this video? Do you have any great performance stocks in your portfolio you would like to recommend to myself or the other viewers of this video? I'm Jason Robinhood. These were the stocks of the day for Thursday, January 27th, 2022. Stay long in the stock market.